Hello, I'm Jennifer Spencer, and this is Paula Brantley, and we're here with another episode of Keeping You in the Know. And today I've asked Paula, who's our senior buyer agent, to share with us the process of buying a home. She has been a buyer agent with us for many years, and prior to that she was an on-site agent for new construction, so she brings all kinds of great experience to this process. So Paula, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking me.
And I'd love for you to, what she's gonna do is talk through this spreadsheet, which you'll be able to look below, flow chart really is what it is, that you'll be able to look at below of what the steps are to go through as you buy a home. So why don't you talk us through it, Paula?
Okay, the very first step that we're going to do when you're thinking about purchasing a home is I'm going to meet with you and establish your goals and the things that you're looking for in a home, what you're looking to achieve in purchasing a home. And then we're going to establish those goals, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of advice about getting your pre-qualifying letter from a lender, which is really important. That's your first step, and that's so important because a lot of folks don't really know what their buying power is until they speak with a lender. And I actually have 2 or 3 lenders that I can suggest you use, or you may have someone that you already are using and like, and that's fine too. I always recommend that you get probably 2 or 3 quotes from different lenders so you'll understand the different options available to you.
And let me just say here, the lenders that we will recommend are both local, and I think that is so important.
It is very important to use a local lender. A lot of the times, folks sellers that you're working with in this market, they like to know that it's a hometown person or a local person that you can get in touch with easily and talk to easily. And then the second step we're going to do is I'm going to set up a search based on the criteria that you give me on the home that you want to purchase, and that would mean the size, the area, the price point, all of those things, and we'll set you up with a search that will go to your email. And during that time while you're searching, you can talk to me about the different homes that you like, and we can get a real clearly defined idea of the home that you're looking for, and we'll start actually looking at homes at that time.
And another thing that's nice with the way we're set up as a team is whoever your buyer agent is will be working with you primarily, but if you find a home and you want to get out to see it right away, we have 4 buyer agents in our office, so someone's available to show you a home at a moment's notice. So we want to be available to you like that.
That's right. That's a very good point. And then once you find the home that you want to purchase, the next step would be actually writing the offer. And that would be something that I would tutor you through and explain the different issues and writing an offer and all of the different aspects of the offer. And then we would submit that offer, and then we would negotiate that offer with the seller. And then once it's negotiated and you have an actual accepted contract, and everyone is signed off on it, on what's been negotiated, that's when you have an executed contract. And at that time, you're going to owe 2 fees. A lot of folks say, how much money do I have to put up front? That's important. So the first thing is a due diligence fee, which will go to the seller. And then the second one is an earnest money deposit. That goes into the attorney's escrow account. And then the next step that you're going to do is the actual due diligence. And a lot of people say, well, what does it mean when I'm doing the due diligence? So that is what some people like to sort of term as an option. It's not really an option, but it would be like if you're saying to the seller, we want you to take your home off the market for me for 3 or 4 weeks for me to really know for sure if I want to purchase this property. So during that 4-week discovery period, if you will, you are going to determine if, number 1, your loan is going to be approved. Number 2 is if you've done the inspection, which we're always going to want you to do an inspection. All those inspections come back and there's not any terrible red flags. Number 3, you've got the survey done and your bank's done the appraisal. So there's a lot of different parts of the puzzle during that due diligence process to make sure that you want to purchase this home.
We're even investigating what's happening around the property, or is there any commercial development that's going to be in the area, or roads that are going to be put through. So there's a lot that we do during that due diligence period to protect you.
Exactly.
And would you mention, or would you address how much a typical due diligence fee and a typical earnest money deposit is?
So a typical earnest money deposit is about 1% of the purchase price, and that would be your earnest money. And then the due diligence is usually about 0.5%. In our market, because we've got such a tight inventory in the last year or so, we are seeing sellers that are asking for more due diligence now because they really want to see that a buyer has the skin in the game pretty much. So that due diligence we're seeing inch up a little bit.
So if you bought a $300,000 house, your earnest money deposit would be potentially $3,000.
Right.
It's all negotiable and it's case by case.
That's right.
And the Paula could advise you on the best strategy. She's really good at winning offers. So if you're making an offer, she'll help you make your offer strong, but also protect you at the same time. I think that's a delicate balance.
It is.
But you want your offer to get accepted. And you're good at that.
Thank you.
So, and then the due diligence fee, you said would be about 0.5%. So on a $300,000 house, that would be $1,500. Sometimes we can go lower depending on really how hot the house is.
Exactly. And of course, if sometimes you're even in a multiple offer situation, so then you have to come in strong.
Right.
But we can kind of gauge that, and that's a part of the process of why you hire an agent, is so that they know how to sort of take you through that process of negotiating that offer. And that's a big deal with an agent, having an agent represent you. So you're through with the due diligence, you've gotten that all taken care of, and you're ready to say, okay, we're going to closing. We are through with our due diligence, and yes, ma'am, we are going to purchase this home.
Right.
So we're getting ready to go to the closing, and at that time frame, the attorney's going to have done your title search for you to make sure you have clear title on the property and that there's not any kind of encumbrances, on the property, that the survey looks good to you and that your loan package looks good and the attorney has that. And then the next and almost the final step is when we go back in at the very end and we do the final walkthrough in the home. And that's to make sure that the home pretty much looks like it did when you were purchasing it initially. You know, you probably haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks. You've had your inspection and you say, okay, I want to go back in and look at it. And so make sure it looks great. Make sure nothing's happened to it that might be detrimental during that time period. And then we're ready to go to closing.
The contract says that the home needs to be in the same condition it was in on the day you made your offer. So that's really what you're looking for at the walkthrough.
Exactly.
And just checking to make sure, because we have seen things.
That's right.
That's another story I'll share with you one day.
That would be a good story. So then we're set and we are ready to go to closing. And also the home should have been cleaned. We always make sure in the contract it states that the home should be cleaned, nicely cleaned, professionally cleaned, so you're going into a clean home. And also that all the personal property has been removed from the home, so you don't have to worry about moving into a home where people have left things. Then we go to the closing, and at the closing table you're going to finish up all your paperwork with the loan involved, and the attorney's going to walk you through what you're going to get your keys and welcome home.
That's right. Well, thank you, Paula.
Thank
that was
you,
a good talk through the home buying process.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of Keeping You in the Know.
Thank you.